So I want to talk about citizenship by investment and in particular real estate in the Caribbean. And I'm going to be talking about this property here. As you can see, I strategically put it on the screen behind me because ultimately this video is about marketing. I'm actually going to try and sell you this property. So be aware, this is a marketing video. So my name is Joseph Boll. I head Frederick Capital and I advise high net wealth individuals and families on how to acquire second citizenships, residencies, real estate, and how to structure your assets internationally. But the focus is usually on buying second citizenships and passports. That's what I do. But talk about this property. So this is a property. It's called the One True Blue Beach Hotel and Resort, and it has been built in Grenada. And what makes this property special is it's Hilton-branded. Hilton have put their name to this development. And as you know, if you invest in the property of Hilton, you are getting a level of brand awareness, prestige, security, quality of build, good concierge. Hilton are good at this. They're a premium brand. And if you invest money in their properties, you tend to expect a better than average service. So it's really reassuring that Hilton are developing this property in Grenada. Now, Grenada already has some amazing hotels. It's got a really strong tourist infrastructure, wonderful villas. A number of people, often, particularly American clients, love Grenada for its tourism and hold second homes there, etc., etc. But Grenada also offers a citizenship by investment program. Now, what is citizenship by investment? Well, citizenship by investment is where you can acquire a second citizenship and that comes with a passport. This will give you a country you belong to. Now, people buy second citizenships for a number of reasons. We have clients who come to us and they need to buy a citizenship because they simply don't have one. Whatever has happened in life has left them without a home country. They don't have a citizenship. So they need to find a country where they can move to and buy a citizenship. That does happen. More often than not, though, it's people wanting to change citizenship. You may not be happy in your home country. It could be because your country's at war and you don't want to be on the front line. It could be you really don't like the tax structure. It could be you're just completely not aligned with where the country's going politically. And that's why people often want to buy a second citizenship in a country that they like. And then they'll have the option of renouncing their existing citizenship and relying on the second one. Or is simply people have both. And that's probably the most common situation. People hold two citizenships. Reasons you may do this could be for tax planning, could be for security, could be for better travel. Your home passport may not be that good for travel. It might be good for banking and tax and where your business is, but travel around Asia is very difficult. So that's why you buy a second passport. The EU has been on the news quite a bit recently because historically, a lot of people bought Caribbean citizenships because it was a good way to get visa-free access to the EU. Now, chances are that's changing. A few of the Caribbean CBI jurisdictions have already lost EU visa-free access, and the others might too, something you need to be aware of. Please note, however, if you travel on a Caribbean passport, as millions of people do, you're not going to lose access to the EU, you just lose visa-free access. It means if you wanted to visit the EU, you have to apply for a visa, which a lot of people have to do anyway. So I don't think that is a major issue moving forward, because the main reason certainly our American clients look at a property like this in Grenada is because it gives them a beautiful family home, somewhere they can live, somewhere if they retired and they didn't necessarily want to stay in the USA, they have a backup, they have somewhere they can call home, not just bricks and mortar, but a citizenship. They can belong to that country. So if they did ever want to renounce their existing citizenship, they already have a second citizenship they can take. Also, there's another reason people want to buy a second citizenship. I hadn't really thought about this, but we had it in a phone call yesterday. We had a guy, an American guy from New York, really lovely guy. He's buying a villa in the Caribbean. And he said, but it's really important for me, I get a passport and second citizenship for me and my family. I said, sure, that's part of the deal. But could you talk for a little bit about what you're trying to achieve? What are your objectives in getting a second citizenship? Because I'd like to know so we can give you the best options. He said, well, it'll be fun. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, I love my Jason Bourne films. I love James Bond. And I figured if in my safe, as long as my other things I can keep as in a passport, if we ever had to escape, it's just a good feeling. And it's like fun. And I said, well, do you know what? Good for him. Why not? If that's a goal, then that's pretty achievable. He had the money and he said, look, I want to buy a family home, somewhere we can escape to, keep a spare set of passports in the safe. That's his goal, no problem. So there's a whole heap of reasons why you may buy a second citizenship. But back to this property that I'm trying to market. So this one here, as I said, is a Hilton brand. But what makes this very appealing is it offers fractional ownership. So if you're not aware, fractional ownership is where you buy a small percentage of the property. You're not buying the whole thing, not buying an entire apartment or a villa. You're buying a percentage of that property, which allows you to visit for a set number of days per year. And it also can be a pretty good investment. There's a lot more liquidity in the lower side of the market because the entry price is very appealing. It's $285,000. Now, if you wanted to buy a beautiful home in Grenada right now, really you're looking at $500,000. And if you want a villa, a swimming pool, good staffing, car park, garage, etc., you're probably looking at $1.5 to $2 million for something super nice. So the fact that this is an entry point of $285,000 is very appealing to a lot of our clients. And with it, you get the citizenship. You simply buy an apartment here or a fractional share of the apartment and the property. You get the Hilton brand and you get a citizenship to Grenada. So I think that is a pretty good deal. And if you would like further information, you'd like to know a little bit more about it, then drop me a message. You can contact me via the link in the bio, or please visit the website, Frederick Capital, I think it's frederick-capital.com, and then we list this property among the many others we market right now. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for watching.